Hi, my name's Jim Harris. I'm the Associate Director of the Autism Training Center at Marshall University. We at the WV ATC collaborated with the West Virginia Department of Education's Office of Special Education and Student Support to create the West Virginia Behavior and Mental Health Technical Assistance Center. We're excited to continue this collaboration as we work with public broadcasting to provide families information to better support and connect with their children during this challenging time of the COVID-19 pandemic. The purpose of this video is to talk about intentional relationship building. Now, a lot of us are spending a lot of time at home, a lot of time with our kids. Well, so what I want to talk about in this video is how do we maximize time when we can connect with our kids and deepen those relationships? How do we look at things like scheduling? How do we look at things like focusing on areas of our child interest or integrating movement time or even being lazy and still connecting with our kids? But what I wanted to explore is how do we do this in an intentional way? Because it's not enough just to be in the same room or the same house with people, but it's about how do we focus on making relationship building a priority in this challenging time. Before we get into strategies and ideas, I want to take a minute to talk about the science of relationships, because it is important to understand what we should do or how we should do it. But even more important, I think, is to start with why. So why should intentional relationship building be such a critical part of our day? And it's not just about the relationship that our kids have with us, but it's the relationship they have with their own neurology. It helps build their ability to do things like solve problems, deal with frustration, take risks, recover from disappointment. So I want to talk just a little bit about how when we create this context of safe and predictable relationships, that those safe and predictable relationships create a better neurological foundation for everything that our child does after that. So let's dig a little bit more into why behind intentional relationship buildings by looking at some of the science. So this is the best place I know to start when talking about the science of relationships. So if we look at this little girl and we ask ourselves, why would she let go of the person who has a hold of her right now? And the only explanation for that would be to get to the person that's reaching out to her. Now, let's make it personal for just a second. Imagine your child, your grandchild, a child that you spend a lot of time with. And this could be now, this could have been something historic, but if you remember when they would be like cruising on like a couch or whatever it might be, and you wanted them to walk and everybody's excited for them to take those first steps, and you would reach out. Now, what you have to understand is in that moment when you're reaching out, that is one of the most important developmental moments when we talk about relationships. And the reason that is because that child is holding on to something that is keeping them safe and secure, which is that couch or whatever it might be. And what you're asking them to do is let go of that certainty and come to you. And the thing I explain to parents or grandparents or teachers all the time is the only way that kid's letting go of that certainty is if you're worth it. And that's the science of relationships. It's when we are consistent and predictable and caring to the point that the relationship with us is worth the risk. It's worth trying new things. So if we want kids to learn, we have to build a relationship in which they feel safe enough to take risks. And if we want to play this out towards the long term, if we want kids to develop confidence and resilience in the future, that is built on the foundation of predictable and consistent relationships early in life and early in development, where they felt confident and comfortable in taking those risks because they lived in a world where those relationships would always be there and be safe and predictable and caring. So let's talk about some strategies to consider. The first thing you might consider is, how do we integrate intentional relationship building into our daily schedule? Now, the first thing that would mean is that we need to build our daily schedule. I know there's been a few videos earlier in the series that talked about how do we build schedules with our children? How do we make those schedules developmentally appropriate? So what I want to talk about is how do we build intentional relationship building into those schedules that involve our children, but also take into account our own schedule, whether it be if we're working from home or if we're working long hours and coming in. How do we make sure that we build a schedule that has intentional relationship building that works for the whole family?
So here's just an example. This is the schedule we're currently using at my house. And just to give you a sense of context though, my boys are 9 and 13. So based on the age of the children at home that you have at home, this could vary greatly. And the ability for the child to understand the schedule could vary greatly. The format, whether it be picture-based, there's a whole bunch of variations when we start talking about scheduling, and that's not really the nature or the purpose of this video. What I want to focus on, what I want you to think about is, in that general structure of your day, where are you scheduling intentional relationship building time? Now, here's an important thing to understand. In the real world, it's not going to fall the same place every day. Now, you may have those staples of the day, getting up in the morning, eating dinner, going to bed, those kinds of things that are always going to be those kind of anchoring intentional relationship building time. But when we're looking at those other opportunities for intentional relationship building, we might need to make those decisions on a day-to-day basis. So one day it might be during creative time and movement time. Another day it might be during academics, or a combination, or free time, watching a show. Here's the reason why I think that's so important, is because that's where we have to balance between the responsibilities we have as parents, whether it be for work or things we have to get done around the house, and the availability to be there and intentional relationship building with our child. And that helps to remove some of that guilt if we feel like we constantly have to be available. It allows us to say no to things, but point to opportunities where we are going to connect and spend that time together. Now, our next tip starts with this question: what does my child enjoy doing? This is a perfect place to start when we're looking at where can we build intentional relationship building into our day. And this starts with what are the activities and things that my child enjoys doing. That may be your child enjoys building with blocks or Legos, art, painting, drawing, playing with action figures or dolls. If they're older, maybe it's a certain video game or certain activity. So what I want you to think about is, what are things my child already has interest in, and how can I share those experiences, because they're already going to be in a positive state. How can I share those experiences with my child? Quick tip. One of the best ways to connect with a child is to let them teach you about something they're already interested in. As a therapist and as a parent, I can tell you that has been the most effective rapport building strategy that I've had. And it's actually fun, and gives you an opportunity to build mutual respect with your child. Find those activities, schedule those in your day. Last but certainly not least is, don't make it too complicated. Listen, this is really just about spending time with your kids. Go out, play a basketball game, play a board game, color, talk about something, watch a show. There's so much pressure to be the perfect parent, doing all the perfect things. Listen, gang, set aside some time every day where you are committing to the relationship with your child.
I hope you found the information in this video helpful. I hope it gives you a sense of where to start when it comes to building intentional relationships with our children, to maximize the opportunity we have while we're at home, to invest the ultimate resource, which is our time with our children. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being present.
For the most current information regarding the West Virginia Department of Education's response to the COVID-19 crisis, you can go to www.wvde.us/COVID-19. This site also has resources for families as well as educators. For more information regarding the West Virginia Behavior Mental Health Technical Assistance Center, you can go to www.marshall.edu/BMHTAC.